Hello, Pioneers, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Candle Close News. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in the Matrix. Do want to apologize ahead of time for any short pauses in this video as we continue to let my voice heal. But tonight's episode will be a WHAP bamboozle with a little bit of this, that, and the third sprinkled on top. One that I hope you all enjoy. Another important message. Every message is important, but today's will be targeted around a grandiose picture and numerous topics. Something I've been working hard on since yesterday and have spent a lot of time on. And I hope you all enjoy. When your mind is working on something, it's important to do it 100% and give it your all. Especially when you're trying to build a community of pioneers that are like-minded and want to better themselves as well. Because I believe that what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality. And if you can see it in your mind, then you can hold it in your hand one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and activity. And I've always just wanted mine to be guideful and helpful and nurturing to others. To help people. Help them protect their finances and hedge against this inflation that we're seeing run rampant. Because when we understand finance and we get back into understanding finance, then we understand how the world really works. And when we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. It's all by design. The world is a stage, pioneers. And what we're experiencing in our physical realities right now is an overwhelming accumulation and combination of unconscious behaviors since the progressive 1900s. See, pioneers, we've been indoctrinated since our birth. From our education system, to our healthcare system, to our sporting system, to our political system, and right now, most specifically, our financial system. And this is something the whole world is seeing. But until you break free of the chains that bind you, until you purge that shadow and realign your moral compass, well then you won't be able to break free of the matrix. You'll always be stuck in this system that they want you trapped in. This just over broke 9-to-5 system, working a job. Jobs stand for just over broke. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to free you, pioneers. I'm here to teach you the game, because when you know the game, you can't be played. And that's how you rise, pioneers. And that's how you can build your legacies. Because the deep state, the private Western central bankers, the corrupt politicians, the fake news, big tech, big pharma, they're all panicking right now. Why? Because of you, pioneers. Because of the people. And how they're refusing to play their little game and go along with their plans to push us into the Great Reset. We're leaving them completely exposed right now. They like to hide in the darkness, though. They like to hide behind things like war and a global shutdown. Remember, we weren't supposed to be back at work talking about inflation running rampant, talking about the policies being set into place on the border in Afghanistan. We were never supposed to see these things. We were supposed to be at home, wearing our mask. They told us, go home, we can't help you, I hope you fucking die. Remember, none of this the people were supposed to see. They like to hide behind invisible enemies. We know this. And they're fronting stage. See, they thought they had control, but they don't. The patriots have control. And who are the patriots? You, the people of the world. I know you see the truckers. Not these world elected leaders. They're not the patriots. The people are waking up, and they're panicking. Now, not everyone's waking up. Not everyone wakes up at the same time. Some people wake up at the border crisis and the election, at the bear flu pandemic or Afghanistan. We know this. Most people, though, they'll wake up when this economy collapses. But I'm afraid some people, they'll just be left behind. You'll never be able to show everyone the truth. They won't believe you even if you got the documents. You couldn't even show people corruption if they bombed skyscrapers on live television. But I do believe some people, they'll be left behind. See, the revolution, it was never gonna be televised. And, well, we know the future, it was never meant for everyone. But more and more people every day are waking up and they're seeing exactly what's going on. They're seeing that we're at war. And no, it's not your average typical war with bullets and bombs. This is infiltration from within. This is an informational war. This is a biological war. Enemies are foreign and domestic. Remember that. There's bombs coming from our TV sets. But the more the private Western central bankers, these corrupt politicians, the deep state, big pharma, big tech, the more they push, the more the people wake up. Why? Because they've been brought to the precipice of destruction, especially when it comes to the economy. Because what do they have in common? Well, the people have the economy in common. It doesn't matter who you voted for, what color you are, how much you weigh, who you love. It doesn't matter. All that matters is, can you get a job? How much are you being taxed? How much is gas? How much money are you making? Can you get good health insurance? Can you provide a livelihood for your families? See, the people, all they have ever had in common is the economy. And it's completely falling apart. And who is on the world stage to blame right now? These corrupt individuals with no cover story. And why do you see them trying so hard to create war right now? I thought we just signed peace treaties because they need an invisible enemy. Remember, the Federal Reserve has two jobs: to make sure unemployment stays low, which it's not, and to make sure the currency stays afloat, which it's not with inflation. So they're failing at both their jobs. I know I couldn't keep mine if I did. Combine that with no cover story, on the front stage, completely exposed, allowing the patriots to see everything. I teach my pioneers at the Daily Candle Close News about the narratives that we do not fall for. Rule number one in the crypto-nair community and the pioneer community is don't trip. Keep your emotions in check. They don't belong here. And rule number two is buy the dip. Teach my pioneers at the crypto-nair community, smile and laugh when you see this in the market. Don't trip. Buy the dip. Emotions don't belong here. Leave your emotions for real life. And here's why I never trip, and why I'm always buying the dip. Because of everything I'm seeing happening in the crypto community right now. People that were recently bullish are now doing a complete 180 and calling for a bear market. The very same people that were recently asking me, John, was it too late to get into crypto? They're now running for the high heels. And people who are not even financially invested in crypto are warning people that are to be careful. It's the greatest time in human history for crypto. I'm literally so excited, and I teach my pioneers about this. Because do you know what the uncommon 1%, the richest and the wealthiest players in the game are doing right now? That's right. They're accumulating. They don't trip, they buy the dip. They never let a good crisis go to waste. That, pioneers, makes this the greatest time in human history for cryptocurrency. We can ride the biggest wave of our life. But here's the deal, if you're still here, pioneers. Multimillionaires and billionaires, they buy and accumulate when there's blood in the streets. Even if that blood is their own blood. When there's extreme levels of fear, that's when they accumulate. That's when they put their teams together and attack. So when there's fear everywhere and blood in the streets, combine those two things with cryptocurrencies at 80% corrections, and everyone's screaming for a bear market. I'm not tripping, I'm buying the dip, my friend. Not financial advice, of course, but that's what I teach here at the Daily Candle Close Mirrors. That's why my pioneers, they don't get butted in and out of a market, because they are fundamental and emotional and intelligent investors and traders. And don't trust a word I say, trust your intuition and the feeling and vibration that's manifesting inside of you, your body, and then act accordingly. Some of you may say, screw this guy, I'm not listening to a word he says, he's crazy. And that's fine, I still love those people. But you know, I still hope they build their legacy in their fortress. But when we zoom out and we look at the grandiose picture and we put on our 2022 foresight and we look at this from a mile-high view at a 30,000-foot overview, well, we know the game, so we can't be played. And that's what this is all about. Because tonight we're going to talk about some important things that we've been witnessing lately. Because what is a chart, you guys? Technicians look at charts and they look at the inner forces within the chart and they calculate. You see, the market is a discounting mechanism. It is the sum total of all the knowledge and ignorance of all the market participants. So it's about trusting a process and designing a skill and craft, and trusting that craft enough to admire and study it and perfect it so you can read it, so you can own it. Never stop getting better at whatever it is you do, pioneers, and do it 100% and do it with love and do it with gratitude. That's what separates you from the ignorance in these markets. Because you developed a skill and a craft. And we've seen this big sell-off lately, and it's very interesting because it was leading into Tuesday's FOMC meeting where the Fed says they're not expected to raise interest rates just yet. And we know recently they've stated that they're going to multiple times this year in 2022. Because the Feds are in an awkward and dangerous position right now. And we know they have printed money to infinity and beyond. They've printed more money than the past 214 years combined in the last 16 months. 45% of all US dollars ever printed. That's crazy. And they're tapering at the same damn time, slowly taking us off the life support that the entire economy has been on since the 2008 and 2009 housing market crisis, when, we had the worst president ever, Mr. O. And we all know that they all know if they raise these interest rates, it's going to crash this economy. No ifs, ands, or buts. Point blank period. They know this. And they know it's going to affect the banks. Because people borrow less when the interest rates are raised, hurting them. So when the stock market collapses, people no longer have money to invest. Are you catching my drift, pioneers? This is all by design, to fudge you out of the market. And you can't fall for the narratives when you read these articles. We know that recently, as we're seeing all of this recent Fed meeting after a red weekend on the 22nd of the month, and we'll get into that, but we're seeing the markets have a bounce and hold pretty stable right now. Correct? We know when the Feds are all in one place, the markets tend to do pretty well. Not surprising, okay? Not to mention that the Fed and the Bank of England is saying they've already warned the Fed that they should have been raised the rates, that they should release shock and awe, putting Jerome Powell back on the hot seat. Wow. You couldn't time these articles better. At the same time, though, the Federal Reserve is out here talking about the three most important questions that they need to answer when it comes to releasing their central bank digital currency that, remember, was just a conspiracy. And remember, the government would never let happen, most of these people said. The dollar is king. Because the Federal Reserve also stated this was years away, you guys. But now they're releasing their white paper, talking about they want the public's input. They don't care about your input. They'll say whatever they need to push along their narratives and their agenda. Because all of this is coming around this recent sell-off on the weekend. Unsophisticated retail traders affect markets on the weekend all the time. There's no institutions open on the weekend. It's all retail. FOMO and fear and panic selling. Probably the same ones that said they would have diamond hands and they never sell. All around the 21st, 22nd of the month. And I warned my pioneers about this time frame. All of this at the same time we see the White House out here talking about they're releasing an executive order on cryptocurrencies as early as February. Well, if that's not already supposed to be an explosive month that we've been exposing on the daily candle close news. Well, what's Coach Abe doing right now, you guys? Boy, damn sure ain't tripping. He buying the dip, my friend. Come on, pioneers. Don't get flooded into the narratives. Do you think that this is any bit of a coincidence that we see crypto and alternative currencies that they don't want you to know about and looking at and putting your money into, moving you away from their private Western central banker economy and becoming your own bank. It's not a surprise we see crypto in a downtrend. And it's not a surprise that we see the Fed talking about a central bank digital currency at the same time that China is releasing their digital currency to their citizens. While we see cryptocurrencies dropping like a rock as we transition out of the beginning of the new year in the biggest ritualistic time frame of the year, Saturnalia, in the 52nd week. All of this doesn't make sense to you? Remember, the Fed said the digital currency was years away. Why are they talking about it now? You think it's because their economy and system is failing? Or do you think it's because it's all by design and all planned out? Because we know the world is a stage. They use the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. To get you suckered into these psyops. They don't want you looking at anything other than the Federal Reserve note. They want you confused. You know? They want you stuck in the dollar, the one that's getting hit with inflation, devaluing your spending ability and purchasing power, wiping out your savings account. It's all by design, warriors. They want to keep you trapped in this 9-to-5 just over broke system, working your job. Jobs are just over broke. I've taught you this for 2 years on this channel. Remember, the Federal Reserve, they control our finances. Ask yourself, don't you want to control your finances? Become your own bank? Do your own loans? Well, you can. But they don't want you to know that. They don't teach you that. That's what we do here on the Daily Candle Close News. We teach our pioneers to become legends to their kids and their grandkids. Point blank, period. What are you going to tell your kids and your grandkids 25 years from now when they ask you, gee, Dad, gee, Grandma, what were you doing during the greatest transformation of wealth? During the history of the world. And it's sad because most of you will tell them not a damn thing. You were watching your sporting events, playing fantasy football, and watching your WHAP videos. You know, I wish our voices were big enough, pioneers, to shift the whole world here on the Daily Candle Close News with the community we're building, but it's not right now, but it can be. But right now, the world doesn't want to be shifted at the darkness. Right now, they just want to watch their sports and WHAP videos. Become a glitch in the matrix and a divergent. What I'm after, money can't buy. That's higher vibrations. I'm trying to raise the frequency. I'm trying to raise the vibrations. We're in a battle. We're at war for the human consciousness, warriors. And I tell you guys this. It's not surprising that we see $1.5 trillion liquidated out of the market over the weekend during the 21st, 22nd time frame of the month. What? Not surprising at all. We told you this in advance. True capitulation, just like the bear flu crisis and PSYOP. When they tried to fudge you out of the markets then, and we were buying them because we didn't trip. We bought the dip, pioneers. So everyone panic selling? Thank you for allowing this community right here at the Daily Candle Close News to pack their bags, because we just backed the truck up and packed it and stacked it. XRP at 56 cents? Come on. We don't care if this ain't the bottom. We'll buy if it drops lower. That'd be dumb to give us pioneers more chances because we ain't gonna trip.
We're gonna buy the dip. We don't fall for none of the narratives being thrown out there, keeping you divided and confused and feared and panic selling out of this market. None of it matters. You matter. Today we see a bull trap in the market, you guys. A false breakout of the 236. 3 straight green days leading into the day. And we know the Fed just met and discussed their interest rates, etc., in the economy. Coming in to be the heroes right now as we see the market dumping. You know, none of this is surprising. It's all by design. And if we go to the 1 minute time frame today, where we started to fall from this right under 39K, where we reached, and we'll be talking about that number. You know it's important. But we see something very important right here. We see on the 1 minute time frame, this sell-off comes in at right under 39K, you guys, on the 1 minute time frame at 1409. So, magnificent manipulation coming in today, you guys, and I'm going to show you what I mean by manipulation. Coming in at 14:09 p.m. That is military time for 209, giving us that 29. A very important number that ties us right back into oh my crun. You know, our homeboy that we shall not name on this channel that we've been exposing. Coming in at 2:09 p.m. You guys. Something we've been utilizing in the code to predict potential volatile price action ahead of time in the cryptocurrency market. Not surprising that we see this on 1/26/2022, giving us that 15. We know that Omicron is the 15th letter in the Greek alphabet. Okay? So very important. Remember, this being the little O, you guys. It's all coming back to a perfect circle. It's all about utilizing the code that we try and teach you all in the daily candle close news. Not only that, when we type in our date, the other way we like to, because in every bank in the world that I've ever seen, I've seen this little cube that somebody has to change every day to show you today's date when you walk in there. At least I've seen it, and it's very important. And I've always seen it written like this. Today, giving us that 70. You know that Omicron in the Greek numerology system called isopsophy? The Omicron has a value of 70. So very important. Because it's not surprising that we see this day today on January 26th. A date giving us 70 in numerology. Very important. Giving us that 39. And we saw Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame get rejected from right under 39K today and start falling below a false breakout of the 236 that we were talking about. And that 70 tying us into our favorite psyop that we've witnessed for the last 2 years on the world stage, giving us that 70. You guys, very powerful. Not surprising. We know that 34 is the mirror of the 43 we get. You guys, very important. So, utilize the code. We know that 70 ties us back into the Jewish Hebrew New Year and the sabbatical year, the Shemitah, giving us that same 70. That 56 we saw in this right here, you guys, continuing to affect the markets because we're in the Shemitah year. Remember how this came the year before? This year is Shemitah year. Oh, wait till the year after, because you ain't seen nothing yet. And I've told my pioneers for 2 years that almost no one will be prepared for what happens next. But that 56, you guys, tying us back into mind control. They keep the masses under. So very important we make these connections. For anyone new, I know it's hard for some people to believe these things, but as you watch and continue to pay attention, you'll see time and time again this comes into fruition. Excuse me. As I've stated, January 26, 2022, giving us that 39. Very important. Bitcoin getting rejected from under that 39K today. A false breakout of the 236 coming in at 2:09 p.m. Our Omicron giving us that 2:09. So very important connections we're making to why we're seeing this price action on today's date with an indecisive doji that we get at the daily candle close today. So remember, not surprising. So we can utilize the code in our trading in the world stage and the things we're getting, the narratives. Remember that. So very important. We'll see what happens moving forward. We'll talk about some things right now. Very indecisive moment we closed today though on the 26th. Some things I was seeing, that 15 we got in today's date. We got it also when we typed out January 26, giving us that very powerful transmutation number, that 33 that we'll be speaking about tonight, that 15 as well. So very, very important being, the Omicron, the 15th Greek letter alphabet. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. Organic synchronicity playing out time and time again. Some things I wanted to reiterate with that 70, tying us back to everything. We're entering the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, her 70th year of reign, her platinum jubilee next month on 2/6, February 6th. So that 26 today being explosive date, that 2/6 being the mayor of 62 that we get in platinum jubilee, that 2/6/62 being very powerful. So very powerful. That 15 also ties us back into ego. And that's something I want to remind you all of. We can't, here in the community, we can't build a ecosystem with the egos. So excuse me, let me get some water. So it's important that we keep our egos in check. Always let our higher self guide us, not our ego. That 15 ties us into the 15th tarot card, the devil. And I know you're going to say, John, the tarot, it's made by the devil. And it's like, yeah, I know, man. Created it, and it proves that you can either be the devil or Jesus, whichever one. It's duality. You can be good or bad. You do know that, right? Like, you defeat my whole argument there when you say things like that. But very important, that 15 connection to Omicron. Very powerful this year. Moving forward, and I'll be explaining that some. All this just something I want to bring up real quick before I got into, a more philosophical and everything approach. This week I've been really trying to go over the philosophy of long-term investing and sort of deconstructing the standard belief system behind bull runs and bear markets. And I felt it's been very, very important to bring this conversation to life and the words that have needed to be said right now. The majority of the market participants are becoming, I believe, tribalistic over whether or not we're in a bull market or a bear market or whatever, And during my time of being in these markets and being in this space, I've learned that the chaos in these markets can really destroy somebody, especially in their day-to-day lives. It has this way with being a digital puppet master that pulls your strings and causes you to act on your ego and not your higher conscience. It pulls the strings of their emotions and well-beings. And I want to bring all this up because I want my veterans and anyone following my work, whether they're brand new or whatever, please know that the life force behind my work comes from a highly conscious perspective. This is not for everyone. I do hand out gut checks and red pills, and I do challenge people, regardless of anything, to be their best self and speak their truth, to seek truth, knowledge, gnosis, and wisdom. I know a lot of what I present in my artwork, it could be hard to swallow, but truth is delivered with love, and it's not about being right or wrong. That's duality. We speak about that. Sadly, that's what a lot of this entire investing in cryptocurrency, stocks, etc. is being diluted down to. This is not about call-outs or predictions, price targets, or price calls, etc. It's about building a community of people that are seeking to be better, that are seeking knowledge, gnosis, and wisdom and truth. That are seeking to be a part of a community where they share their thoughts, beliefs, ideas with each other, but are never, ever negative or tribalistic towards one another. It's about evolving and continuing to expand regardless of our truths, because we all have our own or our beliefs. And I personally bring all this up because I've been here for years and seen this take people that are so strong and just destroy them. Turn them into paper plates and make them vote. Let's remind ourselves to be grateful every day for what we have, not for what some digital bank account says, or how much cash we have under our mattress, or the clothes we got, the car we drive. None of that matters. It's merely a piece of the overall puzzle, but it's not the final outcome or the image of you. So whether or not we're in a bull run or a bear market, or whether or not anything, it doesn't matter if that's what our lives are being reduced down to. Especially if your lives are being dictated by the direction of a market. Don't get parasited by the markets. What are you going to do when they go down? It's about what you do when they go down. It's about what you do when they go up. What are you going to do? Are you going to take advantage? Are you going to continue to hold, hoping they go up and up and up forever, and disregard the fundamentals that we teach? Are you going to trip and panic sell when it dips? Are you going to, or are you going to become a warrior, a pioneer that builds their fortress and their legacy, like us here on the Daily Candle Close News? Because we don't trip, we buy the dip, my friend. Don't get caught up in the slavery and the narratives. There's no life like that. If I could do anything with my time here on Earth, it would be to help people unlock their potential and their true freedom. Everybody's got a bottle inside of them, a bottle full of potential, waiting to be cracked open and unleashed. And I hate to see so many people just wasted. waiting for a savior. Whether it's the orange guy or Jesus or whoever, you're the savior. You're gods and goddesses, pioneers. We are made in the image of the Elohim. We are almighty. We are all powerful. We are all knowing and everlasting. We are the ones that our ancestors used to talk about. The ones that would shift a world out of the darkness and into the light. We are that generation of light. Take a hold of that. I am the I am that I am. When you unlock the freedom that you've always had, because true freedom ain't financial, it's spiritual, it's infinite, and infinite awareness. And when you achieve that, you'll be truly rich. Don't squander your wealth in the material prison and illusion that you condition yourself to be in. If you're truly awake, a true free mind, then you can take nothing, an idea, and turn it into wealth. The literal definition of alchemy, turning lead into gold. That's real manifestation. And that's my goal, is to teach you to become alchemists. And if that resonates with you, the vibe we're on in 2022, then that's the place for you. But if not, well then, I wish you the best on your journey. And you're welcome back at any time. We still love you. I still hope you build your fortress and your legacy. We're all doing our best to figure out this matrix and this purgatory prison planet, this whatever. And I'm blessed and grateful for the community we're building and the people that are helping us build it. But from now on, no more division and getting caught up in the narratives. Let's focus on us and our connection and becoming fundamental, emotionally intelligent investors that don't give a damn about a white paper, a news article, a narrative, he's gonna do this, she's gonna do none of it. What are you gonna do? All of that matters. During this whole process, we need to manage our emotions and be grateful for what we truly have. Your kids, your loved one beside you, your house, your cars. The things that really matter in life. This crypto is not life. We need to shift our focus away from these duality terms such as left and right, black and white, Republican, Democrat, bull market, bear market, flat earth, globe earth, orange guy, Biden. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, start working together. Because when that happens, when we come together and we create unity on a fifth dimension and a higher vibration, then we will win for once. The elite thrive on us self-dividing ourselves, on us hating each other so that it deviates away from them. And the whole time, whether you're giving love or you're giving hate, you're giving them your energy. All life is a battery. And they use you as a battery. And we are being energy harvested through these systems of education, of healthcare, of sports, of politics, of finance, of systems of religion. Whatever it is, when you go within and you find your true truth within, and you find a community of people that are at the same level of consciousness that you are, that is where wealth truly lies. And that is where you become an alchemist and a manifestation expert and scholar. And that is what will set you away from the ignorance and the knowledge in these markets and in life. And that is what will make you a chosen one. And that, my friends, is why we don't trip. We just buy the damn dip. That's what we teach here on the Daily Candle Close News. And if you're new here, we use the craziest things like numerology, gematria, astrology, ancient astrotheological teachings from an ancient prehistoric world, pi, the periodic table of elements, among a lot of other things. But most importantly, we use common sense to help us understand so we can upperstand, so we can understand this woke culture, this life, and these cryptocurrency markets, because it is all nothing more than a logistically sanctioned and reinforced hallucination. So, if you're interested in becoming a pioneer and you would like to join the free Pioneer group chat where I leave some updates and messages in the academy and university that we're building here, then leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you. And again, get you a break in, you guys. Pause the video, get your favorite drink, pop you some popcorn, and light up your favorite strand, whatever. Whatever makes you feel good and relax as we get ready to dive into the matrix. Very quickly, we've been talking about this Saturday, January 22nd, the 22nd day of the 22nd year of the 21st century. A very important day that I've been talking about lately, going back for over a week now. A date that we could see be potentially volatility. It's not about predicting the downside that we saw come in, or because we really, we just knew a reset could come. It's what we teach here. But it's not about predicting upside, downside. We just know that these 21st, 22nd dates of the month could be very important. So for anyone new, we're going to do a quick recap here. This solid fruition playing out in the card, in the charts right here, being very powerful. And I know I say very powerful a lot, like a broken record, but as you continue to see these connections, you'll see just how powerful energy harvesting and Kabbalistic black magic can be. And it's important. All of this is coming in right before and around, again, the Federal Reserve coming out and speaking about the economy. And they love to be the heroes. When the Federal Reserve speaks about their plans, it doesn't necessarily react instantaneously to the markets. It does kind of have some baked in quality to it, where the days leading to it are reactive, or the days leading right after it could be some kind of trend direction. So usually within like 1 to 5 days to 7 days, there's usually some fruition there. So like we use the moon cycles with a volatile time period before and on or after. We kind of use this with the Fed every time they speak. Again, they're all typically in one area in the same building at the same damn time. So like they tend to like to have the market stable when they're all together. It makes sense, right? The people know where they're at. I'm just saying, it's beautiful to watch this 22nd date play out and the transition date of the 21st coming in again, tying us all the way back into our Saturn loving boys and gals. So, there's something going over on our channel, the cult of Saturn, Kronos being our eminent overlord and ruler of Earth, the father of time, the timekeeper. And to be very specific, being in the year of Jupiter, in the year of the tiger, Jupiter actually being
the son of Saturn, overthrowing Saturn, Zeus overthrowing Kronos, his father. So Jupiter really being our daddy here, an eminent overlord. And I'm not being facetious, like when you really do your studies and your, research in ancient ancient mythologies. Then it's all there. So very interesting. But we know that Saturn connection here, very important, very simple. Go study. You'll learn so much about finances. So with everything being said right here, the transition date of the 21st and the 22nd, very powerful. When it's the 21st in the U.S., it's 22nd in Australia and other parts of the world. So remember, we use this as a 3-day transition window, the day before and the day after. So very powerful. We knew this would be powerful because of the connection back to Rosh Hashanah and the start of the Jewish Hebrew New Year, the Shemitah, meaning release in Hebrew, the sabbatical year, typically tied to agriculture back in the day, but more financially scripted nowadays. So important, this day being 137 days since that day. So again, this being the 33rd prime number, and we've talked about that number some. So again, we'll get into that later, but the 33 being very powerful. All this coming in on the 22nd day of the year. Again, of the 22nd year of the 21st century, that 22 being very powerful again because we're in the Hebrew New Year of 5782. And we're in the Gregorian year here in America of 22, how we usually write it. So, again, connections we've made that I just want to reiterate and touch base for anybody new. So, again, the 22nd day of the year being a very important date. But more to come along with this when we write the date out in standard date numerology and we type that out. 1/22, 2022, it gives us the 11. So we have three master numbers. We have the 11 on the 22nd date of the year, being 137 days from the start of Rosh Hashanah and the Shemitah and release year. Very powerful and highly tied to finances, giving us the first three master builder numbers, 11, 22, and 33. Very powerful date connections to the 22nd day of the year right here. This huge connection was 343, the 343rd day of the year. The 22nd day was leaving 343 days left in the year is what I'm saying. That's 7 times 7 times 7. Very, very powerful, you guys. That final connection was, tying us back into the Shemitah right there, being the 7-year sabbatical cycle. We're in the 7-year sabbatical cycle, leading us into a Jubilee year in Judaism. So again, very powerful things. This date, when we added it up, 1 plus 22 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, we got the 29. And we know, well, like we stated before, that ties us back into our Omicron, being the 15th Greek letter alphabet. So very important. I want to reiterate that. We're getting our lows all around this time frame, around the 22nd, and it's beautiful to watch it all play out, leading us into the 21st, 22nd of the month, causing a reset. Very important connections that we like to go over on this channel. Reset, giving us that 22. Change, giving us that 22. And that 29, you guys. The 29, we're getting Omicron. And the psyop, changing the world as we know it. Recycle. 22, giving us that 3-5, that 35. The 3 5s is 15, giving us the 15. Tying us into the, and this is recycling the world as we know it. Anyway, so the 22nd, 21st of the month being very powerful. And you see these connections, and I have to reiterate them for anyone new. So, Anyways, very powerful connections. Not only that, this is the mirror of 56 and 65, and we've talked about that. That's mind control. That's coronavirus. That's, very powerful connections right there that we talk about. ISIS. Crypto is highly tied to astrology and the moon. 1 plus 22 plus 22 gives us 45. The same 45 we know we get in Bitcoin, you guys. So very powerful, the connections there. Boom. As well as that 9, you guys. The same 9 we get in the BTC ticker symbol. And I try and teach people on my channel that Bitcoin is the sun. It is grandpa. It is the overall energy of this cryptocurrency market. It controls whether cryptos go up or whether crypto goes down. And we're going to tie in some correlation to crypto and the stocks like we've been doing recently on our channel. So, again, very powerful connections to why we saw this day play out for anyone new. Let's talk about today some, and some importance about some 27 connections. Then we know that's tomorrow, Thursday, Thor's Day, the day of Jupiter. Oh, wait till we get to that. I can't wait. Let's hurry up. So, the date numerology we're getting today is the 69. We know that's about balance. Yin and yang, you guys. The mirror of 96. Very powerful number. When we add today's date up, 1 plus 26 plus 20 plus 22. So this is tying us into a very important connection that we've already spoken about. Again, Saturn. We just saw Bitcoin hit its all-time high in the year of Saturn, 2021. So very powerful connections. Again, when we go back to the 14th of April, which was the 144 date, that 144 we'll be talking about tonight, and we measure over 69 days, you guys, it was to our low. Oh. So if we measure over 69 days to our low, we see our low on June. Oh, what was that? Man, if I can just get it. Oh my God. Alright. My bad, you guys. I'm sorry. Boom, right there. We see our low come in on June 22nd, you guys. 69 days after our 144 date, which is April 14th. Being written internationally, 14421. Bitcoin hitting 69K. Shortly after that, a few months later, you guys, were they telling us Bitcoin was going to hit 69K during the year of Saturn, all in the code? I do believe so, you guys, using this occultic knowledge and wisdom that is hid from the everyday person that we expose here in the Daily Candle Close News. So again, all of this transition us into the 22nd year. And then we see this low come in on the 22nd again. I don't know if there's any connections to that day, the 22nd to the 22nd, esoterically, or not. I'll have to look that up. It's 215 days, 215, 512. Yeah, I mean, I could possibly make some connections there. We'll have to see, but that was right off my head just thinking about that. Anyways, none of this is surprising. In the year of 2021, the year of Saturn, Bitcoin hitting the 69K top and not going a penny over. We know the year closed at $46,000 in the year of Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi being Saturn, you guys. Bitcoin closed at 46K. Satoshi just turned 46. He's turning 47 this next year in April, playing a huge role in some prediction on how April can go moving forward when I do some more videos that I'll be sharing with everyone moving forward on April, May, March time frame, So this will be a little bit different that I'll be sharing, but on that, but really excited about those connections. We know that 47 being a very powerful number, time 47, infinite 47.
Tetragrammaton, 47. The Masons have 47 degrees on a Masonic compass and ruler. So that 47 being the mirror, 74 we know we get in Jesus and Lucifer. 74 being the 47, 74 connection we get in Neo. You are Neo or Jesus. Or you could be Lucifer, whichever one. You have a choice, the freedom of choice, and I teach you that. So we know that since the genesis and the start of Bitcoin, it's been programmed to run on an algorithm and to fulfill an algorithm, and we try and expose that here on the Daily Kind of Close News with this numerologic code and the numbers here. This important date today, giving us that 33, that very transmutation number, as well as when we type today's date out, we get that 15, tying us back into the oh my crime. So again, today being a very powerful day, and we've talked about the false breakout above the 236 that we could not close above, kind of causing a little bull trap on probably a 1-5 minute time frame, etc. And sending us back down, liquidating more people think we were ready to really go long. Very important. Could be setting a possible W pattern breakout, and that's important to see. Definitely, we knew a bounce was coming with an oversold RSI. So just very important connections to today. And esoterically, why we saw this sell-off right here, that after we got above the 236, very important time frame, going back to a point we historically never see again using the hash radius indicator, and we'll talk about that later. So right here after the Fed speak, you guys, manipulation in a Shemitah year. Okay, so when we're talking esoteric, we're talking about the things that we're allowed to see, the things that we know because we did the due diligence, you guys. Connecting Satoshi's birthday, connecting these esoteric knowledge, occultic wisdom that's hidden. It's all really fascinating. But anyways, with all of this being said, we had this connection tomorrow being very, very interesting. And anyways, before I go there, the 22 and the 15 will be the theme of this year, and the 70, the 22, the 15, and the 70, very, very important. So that's all coming back to, before I move on from the 15, coming back to the tiger. Oh, because we're entering the year of the Chinese New Year, the year of the tiger, the year of the water tiger, very important. We've made these connections in my Decode, the year of the water tiger, you guys. So very important for you to watch that. There's so much going on for you to be very aware esoterically with astrology, etc., to understand this connection behind this 15, 22, and 70 we're getting this year that I think we need to pay attention to moving forward. So, definitely want to reiterate that when we see that, those three numbers this year. I know we'll be talking about a lot, but those three going to be very powerful. We know the Queen of England reigns over 15 Commonwealth realms. She's entering her 70th year in the 22nd year. Very powerful how it's all connecting right now to the Queen and her ascension, aka possibly seeing the Queen die on the world stage, you guys, to harvest your fucking energy. Anyways, it's all about transmutation and turning water into wine and becoming a true alchemist, lead into gold, and it's all about transmutation. Again, the Bible has occultic knowledge that is hidden in it. Go read the Gospel of Thomas, please. So much truth there. But this is all about the year of the 2022, the year of the water tiger, and the changes we'll have moving into 2030. A lot of things we talk about on the channel here. And if you have any questions and would like to reach out sometime to just have a conversation, that's adult, by the way, then I would love to have that. It's hard to have a good conversation. But excuse me, I'll get some water. One other thing, tomorrow being the 27th, though, kind of straight back into Jupiter again, being the tiger striped planet. Okay, Jupiter being the tiger.
all of this being very powerful. We know Jupiter gives us that 27 on the 27th day of the year. So very interesting to see what the energy will be like tomorrow. You know, Bitcoin giving us that 72, the mirror of 27, 36 we get in Jupiter and Bitcoin. So very important that we're seeing this tomorrow. You know, starting to kind of see a little bit of green leading into this day, today and tomorrow now. Our first 2 red days in the past 3 days. 3 daily candle closes. Something to see. Could we see another W bottom, or a reach up? We'll see what happens. So that 42K, could we see 42K tomorrow? We know 4 months, 20 days since the start of the Shemitah, giving us that 42. So very powerful. We know this 70 right here tying us to everything we've just talked about recently, you guys. And Omicron being the 70 in Greek numerology, called isopsephy. Numerology is the study of numbers. I don't think they'd have a study of it if it wasn't important. Okay? So very important, okay? That 34 we made those connections already, being the mirror of the 43 we get in coronavirus, the 43 that we saw Bitcoin fall to not too long ago, before it fell to 38K, before it fell to 35K, the 3 5s giving you the 15, you guys, and then it closed the CME gap. Not surprisingly, it's all by design, warriors. All right here is the Fed meets around the 22nd day of the month, right after they met, you guys, to be the heroes and save the day, because they did not raise the interest rates yet, because they know when they do, they know they will have caused the economy to collapse. I really hope my work is showing that we expose everything on the world stage we're seeing, especially in the markets. Anyways, and Gematria is Hebrew. Just letting you know this off. Very powerful connections right here, you guys. Undeniable. The work's been done, the due diligence. All you really have to do is watch. You don't have to do no research, no nothing. Just make the connections and tell me what you see. Put your truths in there. So, very important. But very, very important connection right here tomorrow. Amazing setup we're seeing. So January's been a very powerful month for the crypto market. We haven't really seen a market crash level in January before, but absolutely seeing something unusual and never seen before. During Shemitah, anything goes. In the Matrix, anything goes. We know this. We've seen the healthiest uptrends in Shemitah years in the markets, which we've never seen a bull run or a Shemitah year for cryptocurrency, really. We've never seen a bull run during a Shemitah year for cryptocurrency. So this will be the first time ever, again, doing something we've never seen before in technical history. So eliminating the 4-year pattern, red pill, So, for instance, in 2000 or 1999, the dot-com bubble crash, which led to 9/11, which eventually led to 2008, 2009. They ended the Shemitah in 2001 with a 9/11, the Pillars of Solomon, the Boaz and Yachin ritual. The rest is history, and we know how it went from there, you guys. The next connection is the C word, really. And if we made those 666-day connections, then, it's very powerful to why we're seeing this downtrend right now, dating back 666 days since the start of C19. Okay? So something I've been exposing in my work lately. Since we started exposing the Water Tiger and the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and Pluto's return and the 77-year, 7-month Bretton Woods Conference this next month in February. February being a very, very powerful month. I'm just ready to see what it gives us. The start of the Chinese New Year. I'm sort of leaning on a short-term uptrend for the markets, with a potential double bottom and back test of these areas into early February. 4 or 5 days after the new moon, like February 5th, 6th, Maybe something like that. The latest we could see this come in around February 14th, or the full moon, right there near the 21st, the 22nd. Okay, so very important to potentially watch for a micro double W pattern breakout on the daily. We'll see how this happens. Very similar to a long, arduous trade out back here with another bottom. We'll see what happens. You know, this is very interesting this next month. Very ritualistic, and we'll see all that play out, regardless of whatever happens. And hopefully, we'll be able to prepare you all ahead of time, like we try and strive to do here. It's definitely been my goal here on the Daily Candle Close News is preparing everybody ahead of time for potential volatile days, utilizing this code and utilizing my truths. And I'm very happy that people are making these connections and starting to give more attention to how this code works in astrology and how astrology plays a role in this market, and some of the things that we talk about on this channel. If I had one thing to say about all of this, I think we could consider a potential double bottom scenario around the 29th or the 2nd of February. Very keen on these 2 dates right now. The full moon or the new moon being around the 1st, transitioning into the 2nd around the start of the Chinese New Year. Very symbolic, very important time frame right here. So again, go watch the Year of the Water Tiger video if you need to get updated and refreshed on all of this. One final thing in this decode, we have January 29th, like I just stated. When we do the numerology, 1 plus 29 plus 20 plus 22, we get 72. Very, very powerful. Being 140 days since the start of the Shemitah and Rosh Hashanah. And we know we get that 72 and 144 in the Jesuit order. Our lizard homeboys. So very important we make these connections right off the rip. Very, very important. Also, we know that 72 is harnessed to Bitcoin as well. So, important connections. All right. That 36, we know we've talked about, we get a 36 in Jupiter and Bitcoin as well. This date, 129. That 29 we know tied us into, Omicron again. It's all in the code. The 29th day of the month. Very interesting how this all plays in. 144 days since the start of the Shemitah, the Jewish Hebrew sabbatical and release year. This day, when we type it out in standard date numerology, 1/29/2022, we get to 18. You guys, that's the infinite connection to Source, the Matrix body, the Jesus body. You, remember, we're gods and goddesses made in the image of the Elohim. Genesis tells us this. Elohim is gods. El is God in Hebrew. Pay attention. It literally says the truth. You are the infinite connection to Source. That's what this 18 means. 0 being the cosmic egg, which has one and only one rule. Hatching every other number. Period. It gives birth to every number. Okay? God is math, you guys. Pay attention. Alright, you're God. Learn the code. Become a glitch in the matrix and a diversion. Very powerful, you guys. That 18, we know how powerful it is in Judaism. It means life. Okay? Life is love. You can't create life without making love. You guys, that's what I teach here. Pay attention. Less is more. Don't get caught up in the degrees you have to have in the cosmos, etc. Nonsense. That 52 we get in this day being a very powerful number. We know it ties us back to the perfect circle in Ouroboros, the circle of life. That 52 being the mirror of the 25 we know we get in BTC, and it's
ticker symbol, you guys. Very powerful. Let's see what January 29, 2022 gives us. Not even surprising, gives us a 42-24 connection, 24 in the year of Jupiter, the Tiger. Very, very powerful. That 73, well, it ain't nothing but the mirror of 37. 73, 37, we're getting some very powerful things, but more importantly, it's the 21st prime number, you guys. Okay? Bitcoin has a 21 million coin supply. Saturn equals 21. Jesuit equals 21. Evil equals 21. Saturn equals 42. Very powerful connections right here. No ifs, ands, or buts. 24, we're getting Jupiter's logo. I thought I had that pulled up. I must have exited out of it. Hope I made that connection. But very, very important connections right there. Undeniable. 29th being a very powerful day. This is even crazier. When you take these dates and you multiply as it's done, which is a rare form in numerology, 1 times 2 times 9 times 2 times 2 times 2, 144, 72. Undeniable. We get the 54 when we add it up. 1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 20 plus 22. Bitcoin is the sun, you guys. You can't make this stuff up. Sun giving us 54. Very powerful, you guys. Undeniable. The important connections coming in on the 29th. So I want to see what happens on this day. Super interesting, man. Very, very awesome. And I don't say this lightly. Very profound connections we're making here that most people will overlook. That 18 we were getting comes back to Venus. Venus goes direct on the 29th. Mercury goes direct on 2/4, February 4th. Not surprising in the year of Jupiter, that 2/4, huh? But Venus goes direct on the 29th. This 29th gave us that 18. Venus gives us 18. That 18, very powerful, guys. That 4 months, 22 days. That is the mirror of 224 that we get in the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, you guys. What? Hey, Satoshi Nakamoto, 224. Undeniable. The connections here. Can't make this up, you guys. We know how powerful that 55 is. We won't get into that tonight. Another thing, and I'm not saying buy into these coins, or whatever, but we do see kind of both of them setting what looks like a potential spring. So again, what happens on this date, I don't know. They could set a lower low in the structure and be setting a spring on this date. But Algorand giving us that 72, 144, 36 connection we're getting here. And Doge coin giving us that 72, 36, 144 connection here. Very powerful connections that we can't deny. There's a couple other things that give us that as well, but you can have fun, do that on your own, utilize Decode with your holdings, and build your own truths. Ask questions if you have them. I don't mind to answer them. This code is important to utilize, and I express that enough in my work, and I've shared that enough, so I don't want to beat a dead horse and be a broken record there, but definitely not me telling you to FOMO using the code, neither. Just saying how I perceive and utilize it. But I would not be surprised if we saw a little bit of action on this 29 day. Very powerful, undeniable. Damn White House. Shit. Anyways, sorry about that, you guys, but I think I've just about made all those connections I wanted to make right here to this date. Yeah. Bitcoin right now has reached levels that is as low as the C word crash in the RSI. Very dramatic, and not surprising with all the connections we've been making lately and in this video. So far it's almost looked like a V-shaped recovery, and that's not me saying that's what we're just going to continue to go straight up to 44K Bitcoin right now.
You know, but we do have two ways of recovering, and that is a V-shaped recovery, or you know, which happens very fast within a week to 2 weeks tops. You know, and then we have a double bottom, a W pattern, or you know, a triple bottom pattern. So it would look more like you know, something like this, and then come back down here and retest before moving back out. This W pattern, we know we'd take that neckline, measure it from the neckline to our low, and move it over here, and it'd take us to about around 42, 44K, 42, 44K. So a lot of connections here, and how it's going to play out here as we transition into the monthly close. You know, which is about 4 days out from the Chinese New Year and the new moon. So very important. We're getting ready to transition into a 5-day window before the new moon, where we typically see a bullish energy come into the markets 3 to 5 days before, on, or 3 to 5 days after the new moon. So, you know, very important connections right here, especially around this 2-2-2-1 date, this 2-2 in the 22nd year, in the 2-2-2 year. Very important things right here. Giving us that 46. We know we get in demiurge. You have 46 chromosomes in your body. 23 from your mom, 23 from your dad. This is the 33rd day of the year. That's transitioning us as we get ready to transition out of the, you know, the 2-1 date, the 21, into the 22 date. You guys, a day leaving 333 days left in the year. You know, I hope all this information is helping. You know, this day giving us that 45, we get in Jupiter and Bitcoin. The 9, we get in Bitcoin and the Sun. The 25 and the 9, we get in the 7, we get in Bitcoin. All of these numbers right here tying us into Bitcoin, you guys. Very important. Very important. I want to start getting into the technical analysis. I think I've stressed Decode and market psychology. Private Western Central Banker Rat, and this WHAP bamboozle sprinkle this, that, and the third everywhere with you guys tonight, showing you what this Pioneer Community Crypto channel is all about. You know, especially when I'm on my 8th game. You know, I want to talk about the Dow Jones for a minute, because we see this arduous sell-off. Oh, Lord, let us pray. Help! But, oh, man. Anyway, you can see that actually we did, if we pull our Fibonacci extension level from before the dump of May or March of 2019, or 8-20, the bear flu crisis, C-19 that changed our lives forever, right? And if we pull this fib from our swing highs to swing lows before and after the dump, that was a 56-day V-bottom recovery. How about that 56 days, huh? I'm just saying, stressing the importance there. W pattern breakout into higher highs, very important, you guys. But if we pull that, we get a 618 reading of where we just retested in the Dow Jones at around $36,000. So again, very important, the connections we're seeing here as we, you know, continue to see Bitcoin battling $36,000 right now. It's like we see these odd connections and tagging prices. I'm just saying, back and forth, right? But anyways, very important connections. We know typically that 1618, what tends to be a heated area, you guys. Why do you think their level above it is red when you pull up a Fibonacci extension chart? So again, important levels. And if you can see back here, this actually tested the golden pocket. Boom. Tested the top, came back down, traded around the 702, middle of the golden pocket before it finally broke out. Came back down and tested the golden pocket before breaking out. Coming back down with a double back test and then breaking out into new all-time highs. So very, just absolute ridiculous over the stock market and indices in traditional markets, you know, over time. In this amount of time frame, I do highly believe, for anybody that studies the markets, that they might believe what I'm saying there, and understand. You know, to see the Dow Jones break above the 1618 on 1-5 in the year of the Tiger, giving us that 1-5, the year of Jupiter,
None of this is surprising before seeing it come all the way back down to previous highs that we set on March 18th, you guys. That March being the first true new year, but we used a scam calendar that was implemented by the Romans who like to fuck everything up, you guys. And I teach this, the truth that's literally documented that nobody pays attention to. Because they were indoctrinated, like I said at the beginning of this video, since the progressive 1900s, to put their energy into things like holidays that they have no idea what they're fucking celebrating. Okay? So very important that March 18th being that 1-8, very powerful number. Those are the highs we were retesting at the time. Literally, on this day. January 24th, giving us our low, that 24. So the 15 connection to the tiger and the year of the tiger, giving us our high above the 1618 of our previous 2-year pull of a Fibonacci extension. Okay, you guys, so again, this being a macro picture, a grandiose picture, we're looking at something actually tertiary here that I'm giving you before coming all the way back down and forming a dead cat bounce that took us right back up to the 0.5 Fibonacci extension level of our dead cat bounce that we pulled from previous rejection and not rejection but resistance points. Okay, so very important. None of this is surprising. I want to reiterate that. We're just back testing these previous ranges. Dow Jones giving us 150, that 1.5 top. It's all in the code, you guys. Boom, came back down and held the 236 so far on every daily candle close above. Straight liquidation events, I'm just saying, it's typically not uncommon to see a correction after the 1618. Not getting above it and holding mini closures above it on macro candles. This is technical. Like this isn't panic and FUD at the markets because of what's been going on. Because the stock market crash that Q said you're gonna get or whatever. Let me tell y'all something. Right now, we expose this red pill right now because I'm feeling spicy tonight. Because again, you trust in the plan and everybody except for yourself. Because you are the gods and goddesses created in the image of the Elohim. And some of you want to trust in the orange guy and trust in whatever the fuck other than yourself. But QAnon, doesn't it give us that 444 that we get in Lucifer? Correct? I'm just like saying, doesn't it give us that 55 we get in Saturn? Satoshi Nakamoto, Satan? I'm just saying. Very powerful connections we're getting here. We ain't done yet. Doesn't it give us that 201 that we get in event 201? And you putting your energy into this shit, and doesn't it right here give us that 666? So I'm going to go ahead and end this right here, and for every one of my pioneers, and maybe I'll lose some followers for that, but I don't give a damn. You are the only change that has ever been needed in this world. Us. The battle for the human conscience. Collectively. Fighting corruption in all forms, foreign and fucking domestic. Don't get trapped in this duality of fucking politics and psyops that they keep us trapped in. Again, that 117 and they tell you Bitcoin's gonna crash. That 117, Bitcoin gives you 117. That 25, BTC gives you 25. And you don't think QAnon's highly tied to Bitcoin? Because it's all part of their plan, the Mirror of 72, the 27 we're getting. Jupiter. How about the 19 tying us back into Ra, the ancient sun god? And they harvest your energy because you're the player. Neo. Jesus, Lucifer. Point blank fucking period. We end this nonsense now. Quit trusting the plan that is Operation Cypher, that is Operation Pogo, that is Operation Paperclip, that is Operation Trust. People like David Goldberg lost their lives exposing this nonsense, and you still fucking believe it for what it is. It is nonsense. I don't care what the orange guy does. I don't care if we do see him come back. It's all part of the plan to move you into blockchain voting, a slavery system. Do you not get it? We're gonna see this overturned, or the truth of the election at least exposed, so the people beg for a new system. We're gonna see the economy collapse, so the people beg for a new system. Nonsense. None of it matters if you're not doing what you can to become a better person and making the world a better place. And that's this week's Red Pill. Point blank period, quit falling for the narratives in the cryptocurrency market, causing you to sell in a panic. Quit falling for the nonsense and trusting in the plan, waiting for a savior. That's keeping you trapped in duality and in this game of life. It's keeping them winning because they're harvesting your energy because you go about your day reading this nonsense and sharing it and speaking it. You know, they're trying to literally cause you to fail. They have fired shots at us and our kids for 2 years with the nonsense they've shared and the lies they've spread, the corruption, and nobody bats an eye. Point blank period. Quit falling for the nonsense. No more of it. And we teach that here. You're the power and the change that's needed. Be it. So with all that being said, we see that B leading into a W pattern breakout that we've been talking about. We typically see that, something I anticipate. We have our resistance around 35K. Very important. Dead cat bounce area. We know if we can get above that 0.5, we're typically okay in Forex and stock and traditional markets. Not weird if we surpass that and close candles above it for, an upside. So W pattern coming in potentially. We'll see what happens. This isn't as dramatic as the Nasdaq sell-off. It's way more dramatic, and we ain't going to be talking much about that. But we know that the S&P 500 very similar. You guys, same thing. Just boom, came all the way back down, almost retested the 0.5. So we've been in this long uptrend that just really needed to come back and retest some previous highs. This potential high, right? This previous high right here of May 7th. Sell in May, walk away. Very traditional in the stock markets. Investors, believe in that philosophy. So again, sell in May, beginning of May, walk away until later. They bought this dip after they sold. So again, this shit is, boom, pretty consistent, you guys. The manipulation we see around certain time frames, etc. You know, Nothing's changed going back hundreds of years, and I expose that, you guys. We proved that by studying history, which is his story. So, again, it's pretty wild. For instance, just a Fed talking can cause a dramatic sell-off, and if this is the catalyst when they, just say something, or Elon Musk comes out and posts a tweet, then we may not ever see this market get mature, but we will. I'm just saying it definitely is going to take a while with the manipulation we see, the non-fundamental change we see in the crypto market. All this is solely based off of speculation on the Fed and how they're discussing this interest rate jargon and nonsense. It's really fascinating to see this from an esoteric perspective, and seeing it all coded in when we really pay attention to it. There's so much money in the market, so much unsophisticated money in the market that people don't really know how to evaluate a decision anymore when it comes to investing, and it's very obvious. These weekend sell-offs with no institutions open, it's really surprising, you guys, and I expose this time and time again. All this investing comes from people over the last several years and a couple decades wanting to, use it as an idea of a hedge putting their money in stocks and using it as a risk asset because, well, it was what their parents and their grandparents were taught in the 70s and the 60s. But, they're not looking at the world in a 2022 foresight and a mile-high view with a 30,000-foot overview and perspective. What worked for our parents and grandparents isn't going to work for us and our kids moving forward. So all of this is just mind-blowing how we really pay attention to what we see take place in these markets. When we see these landsliding capitulation events, very important. One thing I iterate is using the RSI as a gauge for, an event to give us some relief in the markets either way. When it's oversold or overbought, one of the two. Unless it's just a black swan, then we know it's just going to do whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. Like the C19, it's just all manipulated at that point and pre-programmed into the algorithm, I do believe. Typically, we get our large sell-offs and corrections in the September, October, November, end of the year time frame, which, we're kind of far out from. So this is kind of showing me a market reset for crypto, potentially. And, it's something I brought up lately. But getting some relief on the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 and some other tech stocks like Netflix wouldn't be weird because it's the Fed's job to actually save the day, to print more money and, keep the dollar currency at a float. It's their job. So it's not surprising that lately, here recently, we started seeing money come back into the dollar. Damn, breaking that 786 at the 888 right now. Very important level to see us break, you guys, at 96, 97. Or, we could see rejection coming from here and set lows, setting higher or lower highs in the structure. Very important. We came up and, failed to break this 5.5 before breaking into the golden pocket, and now we're breaking above. So, seeing the RSI in an uptrend, very V-shaped. So this shows me manipulation to the downside around the 22nd of the year. Oh, 1322. Huh. Wow. No. Scripted. Anyways, my veterans know what I'm talking about there. But boom, we should actually have a breakdown. And a full-blown trend reversal. I'm sorry, we should see this after this downtrend, a full-blown trend reversal. Boom. Into the 888, to this 97 range. You see? Boom. Manipulation. Money's got to go somewhere. It doesn't until it does. I was just asking, where's this money going? DXY was on a downtrend, breaking lows in the structure. Boom. All of this is very important. I think it's something we can continue to watch. If we get rejected from this area, we could continue to see, crypto do very good. Not very good, but like a bullish relief into February, March. Positive thing. We just don't know how this is going to play out. If the dollar strengthens, it's not going to be quite so good for crypto. The more the dollar weakens, because the more they print and put into circulation, giving all this liquidity to whoever the fuck, every nook and the cranny and everybody that wants to borrow, etc. Well, then it's going to be very interesting to see how this takes place. We could, of course, see a market rally because of all this nonsense. Crypto is extremely nascent, and it's very important that we pay attention. We just saw $1.5 trillion leave this market in a liquidation event that I warned you guys about. Very important things that I want to reiterate. Don't have weekends and don't get sucked into buying a pump that's already up 40, 50, 60%. It happens all the time. You wouldn't believe it. Very important things I just wanted to reiterate, you guys. So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about some targets real quick before we get off here, you guys. Bitcoin, more in line with the dead cat bounce that we've been talking about lately. If we were to pull a fib pull from our previous all-time high to our all-time low, we could see a potential recovery on this dead cat bounce to, obviously this 0.5 around 51, 52K to around the 786, the golden pocket, or the, that potential 62K 888 level. Very, very potential that we're just in a short-term bear phase for Bitcoin, and we get this relief rally into this bull trap that could give liquidity that would flow into the altcoins, that would create a massive pump for the altcoins to have a true blow off top into the bull run for the entire cryptocurrency sector. So what we could think right now is Bitcoin could have possibly topped out right now. It's been trading for 13 years. The 4-year cycle is broken. We've moved on from that. We got to be open-minded. That's how this could go. But at the end of the day, we still don't know how this is going to go or what's going to happen. What happens if in April, if Bitcoin's at 40, 48, 57K, and, some major company like Bank of America comes out and says, we just converted most of our profits into Bitcoin. What's going to happen, you guys? Bitcoin going to hit 72K. Okay? We can see this happen. Manipulated, scripted, out of nowhere. Bitcoin can move 10K in a day, and I've stated this time and time again, and then we've seen it happen 3 times in the last 6 months. And I don't think this is likely, but I'm telling you, this is how crypto works. It blindsides you. The same way it sells off heavily in 72 days after it hits a 69K top. Well, that's just how it goes. We can just do the same thing. Just as fast as it goes down, it can go up. Nobody knows. Technically, the way this should play out is a bull trap rollover and dominance flowing into the altcoins, especially coins like XRP, etc., that have been suppressed this entire cycle. This wouldn't be uncommon, and this wouldn't be, not normal. This is how it's played out in tech stocks and crypto previous bull runs, having all of that, the sell-off into a B wave of an ABC correction, or, a dead cat bounce, a relief rally that gets a bull trap at the golden pocket. That's a true dead cat bounce, very important. So 52 to 62K I'm paying attention to heavily. Those would be areas for definite de-risk if we held Bitcoin. I don't hold it. So, that's how I stay calm, though, you guys. And that's what I teach my pioneers, how to stay calm by using the fundamental buy low, sell high. Buy the news, sell the hype. So, very important, We know this hash ribbons indicator failed for the second time in history. The only other time was during the C word crash, so we were bought up right after that. Every other time it gave us a buy signal, it held true. So if C19 was manipulation and we failed that indicator, and this was a 666-day connection to C19, and we failed this indicator, could we just see this be another anomaly and we continue to move on up? I don't know. But this indicator has proven that we cannot rely on solely any indicator. It's just an indicator. It's very important. So we did fail this previous buy signal low. Anything's possible in the matrix, though, and we know that. We know a market does 3 things: up, down, sideways, and it only does 2 euphorically, and that's up and down. We got to use our tools to determine that, which way we're going to go or which way we think it's going to go. We can't use just one indicator to determine that. We got to use an entire trading strategy and setup. Who would ever teach the opposite? So it's still interesting how manipulation has been the only reason why we failed 2 buy signal indicators on the hash ribbon indicator. So very important, those connections there. If we can just get back above this 236 at 37K, and I could see us potentially testing this 42, 44K, setting a potential
you know, rejection from the 382 to come back down, set another low towards the beginning of February that we've talked about tonight. So important connections there. We knew a bounce was coming. We were oversold on the RSI. And we were able to come out and do some very explosive videos over the weekend around the 22nd, on Saturday the 22nd, where we warned you guys about the capitulation and the manipulation in these markets in a post. There's a reason. They steal your fear. The currency in these markets is fear. It's the number one currency that they steal from us. We're batteries. So, all right. So, somewhere in my notes, I had an important message before I got off there. I'm not seeing it, but I definitely appreciate everyone that's hung out with us right here. It's 11:22 at night. Wow. Those connections we made to those numbers tonight. With everything being said, you guys, I hope you enjoyed, and you're enjoying the work we're doing right here, and you're utilizing the code to become the best that you can be, and you're learning the power of yourself. Most important things that I teach here on the Daily Candle Close News, and something I wanted to reiterate the vibe we're on heading into 2022. And I love you all. And become your own personal, alchemist. Create and manifest your destiny, you guys. That's what I want you guys to understand. You're ever powerful, all knowing. You were created in the image of the Elohim, and you're a manifestation expert and scholar. So when you unlock the power of manifestation, you can have anything and any outcome you want. But the problem is most people don't take care of any of these things that I'm saying first, and they get focused on the outcome instead of the process. So the things that I'm sharing with you, don't take for lightly and take for granted. Because I've stated time and time again that I think, these are things that are not wanted of me to be sharing in this world. And I believe I take a risk in putting my artwork out there in the world. But I want to teach you it's all about controlling your emotions and patience. So let's see how the rest of this week and the rest of this month goes for January. How the 29th and the 1st of February goes. With all that being said, take care and God bless. And become a divergence and a glitch in the matrix, pioneers. And manifest your reality. Pioneers, rise and build your legacies. Take care. God bless.